Not allowed to go live on LinkedIn yet. Hold on. Stand by.
All right, hey everyone, it's Paul Kingsbury, President and National Commander for the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, and welcome to the February 2021 edition of Commander's Call. Today, joining me is our Executive Director. He's calling in. We had a little bit of technical difficulties. That's why we started off a little late. So Joseph Terry's on the phone, and then also we got our new Chief Advocacy Officer, Michael Little. Hey guys, how's everything going?
Well.
Hey, Paul, how's it going? Thanks for having us. Glad to be here with you today. Looking forward to talking with you and the membership.
Absolutely. And then, this month, busy month, besides, Valentine's Day and reminding that, we've got Lincoln's birthday, we've got Washington's birthday, so there'll be a federal holiday. And then also this month recognizes Black History Month, and NCOA recognizes that as well. We've done some posts. We've done I put thoughts and recognition of that in my NCOA newsletter comments. So, just thoughts on that. Hey, Joe, what's your thoughts on why is it important for us to recognize these kind of months and the dedication and the contributions of Black or African American service members to our nation and our military?
Well, I think it's very important because it sets the stage for those, particularly our younger service members and others, to see that those that have gone before us and those that are still serving, not only in the military capacity, but in their civilian capacities as well. And it just shows it just kind of leads a roadmap to those of us and others that are trying to strive to do the best we can and contribute the best we can to service to our country and to our nations, and in the case of our service members, to other nations as well.
Yes, and
it's good that we just take the time to recognize and set aside that time for that.
Yes, to achieve all the big things we've done in country's history and our military's history, we're relied on the entire team. And then we take these months to recognize the specific individual contributions across those. And frankly, some of the challenges they haven't overcome, right? This wasn't an easy story for certain people. And I think it's important to show progress, but also to kind of talk about, hey, there's still challenges and there's still work to be done. So, and we've seen that recently. So, all right, guys, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I thought we'd take Commander's Call to a little different thing, more like a State of the Union kind of event, and talk more NCOA business. As you guys know, I just did last month, I think earlier this month, we shifted the hosting of other senior enlisted and panels like that to more of a virtual speaker series, and I look forward to doing more of that, where we'll get insights from a wide variety of enlisted professionals across the spectrum of active duty, reserve, National Guard, veterans, retirees. I look forward to developing that. But I think Commander's Call will start to perhaps do it maybe a little less frequently, or at least it's going to talk down and in business. So I just want to touch on a few things, and then I'm going to throw it over to Joe for some updates on what he's working. But first of all, again, congratulations on the Navy side. The Navy just finished up its process of pinning all new Chief Petty Officers. I think there were about 4,700 new chiefs that were pinned on active duty. So congratulations to those new Chief Petty Officers, and welcome to the Chiefs Mess. Just had a meeting this morning with the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard, Jason Vanderhayden, Michael Little, and I, and his group of interns that I think he'll talk about a little bit that have joined our team. Had a great conversation, gained some insights from McPog Vanderhayden on kind of where we can help advocate and strengthen that relationship as we go forward. As I mentioned, we did a virtual speaker series with the Space Command senior enlisted leader and several of his component SELs. That was great. If you haven't seen that, that's on our Facebook post, and I think we've got links to that in our newsletter, so you want to check that out, see what we got going on there. I'm going to let Mike Little talk about these specifically, but he's done a lot of great work. Check it out. We just got us a new website, basically a redesign, and he's also redesigned the newsletter, so you're going to see that coming out and changing. So as I mentioned early on, I think it's important to make sure our digital products and our content there is it's modern looking, it looks good, and frankly, it's easier to navigate. So I'll let Mike talk more about that. We'll be doing our board of directors meeting on 11 February. So that should be good to discuss some things and exchange some ideas and new business and closing out some old business. And then my last plug is obviously for the scholarship fund. Mike Little and I did a video on that. So this is open season through March for us to get those scholarship applications in. So that is one of those unique member benefits of being in the Non-Commissioned Officers Association is dependents and family members of members of the Non-Commissioned Officers Association can apply for that. So more information, it's on our website. We posted on social media. Make sure you learn about that. And as you can see, the deadline for that is 31 March of this year. Great member benefit and a great opportunity. So with that, Joe, what's going on with you? What are you working on and what's going on down in? What are your line of efforts?
Okay, Paul, just like to take the opportunity, first of all, to thank you and Mike for bringing us on board together to give a quick overview of the association. I want to talk in the area of membership first. As you know, and some take it as just an old cliche that membership is the lifeblood of an association, but it's definitely a fact of life. Having said that, we have a membership drive going on now, which our goal is to reach 1,000 new members by the conference this year in July. Right now we are at 395 towards that goal. It's basically an each one reach one strategy in which we're encouraging each of our members to reach out and sign up at least one new member, and we shouldn't have any problem at all achieving that or breaking that 1,000 member goal. I'd like to give a shout out to Ms. Tammy Sullivan out in California to one of our chapters there. I mean, she's leading the pack with well over 30 new members signed. So hats off to her and encourage others to follow her lead in us obtaining that goal. A keynote that since January, we've gotten 42 new members. So we're on pace and on track to exceed that goal. Talking in the area of retention, which is very, very important as well, because we want members to not only join us, but we want them to stay with us. And right now, at the present, we're at 50% for the January and so far in the February, which today is the 5th. So we're definitely on track. In December, we actually was over in our retention efforts. So we're doing very well in that area. So as I mentioned, it's very important that we not only sign up new members, but retain them as well. Some of the events we've got coming up, I want to highlight the conference. We've got scheduled a face-to-face conference here in San Antonio, Texas, Military City, USA, 20 to 23 July. Some highlights for that conference is we've invited the senior enlisted leaders from the 6 DOD services and the CAP to join us in a panel. And then the major highlight of that event will be the recognition of our NCOA Vanguard Award recipients. You can find out more about the conference and on those Vanguard awards and what they mean on our website, and also Advocate and other information that we'll be sending out. Right now, as some of you know, we have a challenge coin fundraiser, which is ongoing. We're doing pretty well. We've shipped out actually over 155 coins thus far. We're asking a donation fee of $15, which will include the shipping and handling on those if you send in a check a month. However, there is an opportunity to go online on our website and order a coin as well. And we're asking a $16 donation, and that would cover any fees associated with that. So we're doing pretty well in that effort, and we appreciate it. And that's actually open to members and non-members. So if you have some friends that would like to order some of those coins, and the proceeds for those coin sales are going towards our NCOA scholarship fund, which Paul mentioned earlier, and also our member development funds. So going towards some great efforts for our association. Some new updates that are coming on board. Mike Little will be talking about them pretty soon here in the next few minutes. Is the revamp of our Advocate and our website. Both those products are going to be launched pretty soon. Today, as a matter of fact, the website was launched, and later on today, the Advocate have come out, and you'll see the differences on that. And we ask that you would definitely give us some feedback. Mike's put a lot of hard work in a very short time on those products, but they're only as good as the information that we can receive from some of you in the field and others to keep it updated. So it's very, very important. I want to highlight the chapters. One of the chapters, the NorCal chapter, came up with an idea for fundraising, which is what they call a no-host bake sale, in which obviously it means that instead of actually hosting an actual event where people would bring in their baked goods and cookies and things of this nature, they've asked that the members and others donate funds that they would normally use to bake those particular goods instead. And the NorCal chapter has done pretty well on that event, and the road chapter out in Oregon participated in that as well, and both done very well respectively in those fundraisers. So other than that, unless we get some questions from me later on, I want to turn it over to Mike Little, our Chief Advocacy Officer, for an update on what he's got going.
Hey, let me pause. Hey, Mike, let me jump in there real fast. Actually, this is for both of you. So we talk a lot about welcoming new members. We're on this goal. We're moving towards it, but I think we got to talk a little bit more about why they should become a member of NCOA, right? So, Joe, first from your perspective, why should I join NCOA?
I feel that particularly as a service member, whether you're active, retired, or reserve, we need to have a voice in Washington, first of all, for the efforts that we put forward and you put forward in the field. We want to give you a peace of mind as you're out there executing your duties, that it is someone that's behind the scenes and up front fighting to keep and enhance the benefits that our service members have. And again, not only just for those active, but for those that are retired and in all the branches of service of which we represent. So it's very important, and the strength is in numbers, because when Mike is speaking to the different 6 congressmen and senators, and Paul, our president, is doing the same, it makes a difference as to how many people, of course, they're representing. And of course, we're representing the millions out there as a coalition, and we want to be sure that when they speak and when we speak as an association, that people listen. In addition to that, of course, we have member benefits that are associated with that as well. We have different discounts like USAA, the Selmon Company with the TRICARE supplements. We have several universities that provide assistance in tuition and other discounts and educational products. So there are a myriad of individual benefits that our members receive as well. It's just very important, again, that you belong to at least one military service organization so that you have a strong voice, and again, enhancing the benefits that you have, and of course, any that may be available to get new ones as well.
All right. So, Mike, you've been heavily involved in VSOs and MSOs. From your experience, what would you say? What's the value of membership, not just in NCOA, but any of these kind of organizations?
Paul, I mean, I've written extensively about this on multiple occasions, and I've been a part of a lot of different organizations myself. And I'll tell you that if you're going to be in a professional trade of any sort, you want to be a part of that professional makeup that's going to make you perform better, understand your job more diligently. So I always say, like, if you're if you're working if you're a steel worker, right, you definitely want to belong to steel workers unions. If you're a plumber, you're going to belong to those trades. And so that's important for those civilian fields. And the same goes for the military and veteran service organizations. I'm heavily involved in my Aviation Bosun Mate Association, and they have one niche that they focus on, and it's keeping my fellow AV safe at all times. So why else am I a part of other organizations? Well, it's because we all bring something different to the table. But what's really cool about NCOA is we represent for 1.8 million active in reserve and National Guard enlisted members, in all 6 branches, as well as over 18 million of the enlisted veterans that are alive in this country. And so whenever, someone asks me, why should I join NCOA? I just tell them, why wouldn't you want to be a part of that professional organization that's going to give you that safety in mind, that's, advocating for you on the Hill? Why wouldn't you want to be a part of that group that's going to help you, with your transition assistance? There's a whole myriad of reasons why someone should join an organization like this. But I always refer to, like, these organizations stand for three things. And we're like an unofficial union for all of our active and reserve members, right? You can't go collectively bargain. You can't strike. Well, you don't have to in the military, because there's all of us out here that are doing it for you. Paul and I were just on the phone with the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard. We did a Zoom call with him, this morning. And what were we talking about? We're talking about how do we get better childcare to members of the Coast Guard. We're talking about how we can help them get a better electronic service record for their branch. We were talking about, things that they need in their budget. We're talking about medical health records. You can't, as a collection of service members, walk in and have that conversation with them. But as NCOA, we go and we have that conversation based on comments that come from our members, based on the needs of the force. And so really these organizations serve to basically look out for you while you're in the military. And then when you're a veteran, we're basically your reunion organization, as well as, again, that unofficial union for you. We're making sure the VA is not cutting your benefits. We're making sure the VA is not, treating you badly at the hospitals. We just signed on to a letter with a couple of other organizations to make sure that caregivers were able to get the same shot at the same time as their spouses that they're caring for when it comes to the COVID vaccine, right? So that was something that I'm sure a lot of spouses were trying to voice their opinion to, but we joined together with the Independence Fund and TRIA and MOA and a couple of others, and we went into the VA and we said, we need this to happen. These veterans need to be cared for at all times, and if we're going to give this vaccination to the veteran, we got to give it to their caregiver as well. And so now, I just saw last week they started rolling it out. Spouses are starting to get their shots with their significant others, and that's exactly what we needed. So you want to know why we need this? It's because you need us and we need you. So we're going to always make sure your pay raises are looked at properly. We're going to make sure your benefits are there. We're going to make sure that you have the things you need, but we're here for you. This is your organization, and so we're all about your input and what you need from us.
All right. Hey, we got a question that came in on Facebook, and this one's probably for Joe. It says, any chapters out there in West Michigan? And then can you talk a little bit about chapter growth and why they, what's the value of the local chapters and how you can start one?
We do have a chapter in Michigan, and the importance of chapters is that's actually where the rubber meets the road. That's where the chapters can really interact with the communities. They can also interact with military bases if they're near a military bases. That's where they can tap right into the direct line, particularly into the military, to see what the issues are for the service members and family members in those areas. And they also have a community presence in which, again, they can help. We have chapters that are assisting associations out there like the Fisher House, homeless, helping with child care. There's a myriad of different events that chapters are engaged in within their communities. We have over 30 chapters throughout the United States. We have a chapter in Italy and a chapter in South Korea as well. You can start with notifying the headquarters, and we have go to our website, www.ncoausa.org, and find out more about where the chapters are. You can contact the headquarters, and then we can give you information on how to actually stand up a chapter. It's not very difficult. If you have 5 individuals that are members, paid members, they can actually stand up a chapter. Now, if you're on a military base, of course, you have to find out what the rules and regulations are about forming a private organization or military service organization on that base. But that's normally not difficult either if you go in and you let them, the command team, know what it is you're trying to do. you bolster up some other members and build that chapter from the ground. But we here at the headquarters are definitely available to give you what we call a chapter starter kit that would give you the tools necessary in which to start up a chapter. And we have individuals in different communities, even those that do not have a brick and mortar chapter, but members that are willing to come forward and help once they see that they have individuals in those areas that are willing to take the lead. And sometimes it just takes a few individuals to take the lead and for others to follow to build a strong, vibrant chapter.
All right, good. So yeah, welcome all of those new members. Again, membership's important. It's not just what you get, and we do have a great selection of member benefits. Everything from the things Joe talked about to the scholarship fund opportunities, disaster relief opportunities, and we're going to look for some new things, right? Maybe there's some stuff we can do in career transition, resume writing, and other things that are unique benefits. Mike and I have been talking, and Joe and I have been talking about that too. So, all right, let's switch over. Mike, our new Chief Advocacy Officer. What's going on? How are things going?
Hey, Paul, things are going well. Been on board exactly a month now. We've got a lot of things that we've been pushing down the pipe as far as changes. Some of the things that have been stalled because there really wasn't a lot going on with Congress. And so what we were able to do is we were actually able to work on a lot of some administrative things. So it's going to make us a little bit stronger. So we're pushing out legislation support right now. We're also covering a lot of different hearings. Before I jump too much into it, we saw Secretary Austin become confirmed in the Department of Defense. Really, really excited for him to see what he's going to be able to do at DOD. And then, we're waiting for nominated Secretary McDonough tomorrow, next week, to be voted on to become the next Sec VA. So looking forward to that. We're starting to push out more legislation. So I think what I can do at this point, Paul, is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna talk about the new webpage for a second, and because there's a question that popped up. And sorry, we don't see your name whenever you send these in from Facebook, but it says, I'm a prolific writer to my elected officials and local newspaper editors. Can NCOA provide a link to talking points I can put in front of the public? Absolutely. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. And then to address the other question that came in for me, this is also going to cover in a second, but how can we protect the U.S. Coast Guard when the government shuts down and they still and ensure they still get paid? Great question. We were talking directly with the McPog about this earlier today. We have direction on that as well. So I'll get to that answer also. But, without further ado, I want to introduce the new webpage. So let me just switch the screen over. So here it is. We're trying to get to a site that's going to be more easily to be navigated, something where when someone comes to our organization, they can see what it is we do. And so, we've highlighted those 4 major things that you get for being a member of NCOA here at the top. So new design, new layout, highlighting a few other things. And, you can come in, you can learn about our leaders throughout the organization. We have them listed right here on our page. You can email all of them. We all have emails that go directly to us. And if you want to learn more about our staff, we're here as well. But something that's new to NCOA this year is we have a new set of interns that have come on board with us. We actually have 20 of them. They are from all over the country, go to all different colleges. We have one Air Force reservist that's with us, Miss Senior Airman Claudia Salvador, who's a member of NCOA. She saw that we had an advertisement for legislative interns, and she joined. So, as the semester ends, you'll see we'll start posting for more interns in the summer and the fall. Some of these individuals might stick around with us, but these individuals have helped us build our webpage. They have helped us redesign our newsletter. They are a part of this team. They are a part of our family. and they are all members of NCOA. Also, they have received a free membership for working with us, and so we are really excited to have all of them on board with us. New feature on the page, you can actually come if you have a direct question for us, and you can click right here and you can directly text myself or whoever has access to that at that time any questions you might have, and we'll make sure we get that for you. Next thing we'll go over here is Joe talked a lot about the member benefits that we have. There's a lot. We have a lot of companies that partner with us to give you discounts. And so feel free, come check out, see what your benefits are. If you've been a member a while, you don't know what they are, you can come find them right here in your benefits section. And then also we've been partnering for a while now with Corporate Gray. If you're looking for a job, if you need help with that, Corporate Gray has been doing it right for a long time. So we got Corporate Gray. They're on our page now. We are you can come and access all of their features directly on our site, and really excited about that partnership. Also, another feature is learning how to navigate the government contracting. And so great program. I've done most of it in the last few days. Really like it. But here's where things change. This is where the members are going to be able to start seeing more interaction from the legislative side. So we have a new legislative advocacy webpage as well. It's directly embedded here into our site. So whenever you come and you want to see which legislation is being tracked, you can come find it in a couple ways. So first is through the Legislative Center. You come into Legislative Center, you click track legislation, and you'll see there's 3 pieces of legislation we're currently supporting. We're going to start with HR. We'll just go over HR 148. It's the Jobs and Child Care Act. It was introduced by Representative Norcross from New Jersey 1. And when you come here, you can learn about this legislation. You can read about it. You can open up our actual letter of support that we sent to Congress, and you can read it right here. This is exact talking points that we sent to Congress to get their support behind this as well. So if you're looking for talking points, come here, find it. And then if you want to read the bill itself, you can also click in this link. It's going to take you directly to the bill. You can see who's co-sponsoring it. Currently, there's 10 co-sponsors. Today, we'll be sending out a letter to all of the members of the House and the Senate asking them to co-sponsor this legislation as well. You're also going to be able to come and read legislative news and updates. So if you come over and you click on Advocacy News, the NCOA Advocate Newsletter, this is more than just the newsletter. This is going to be up. So once a week, you're going to get the newsletter, right? But right now, you can come in and you can see this in real time. So we had an intern wrote an article, or I'm sorry, we sent a letter to John Tester last night about the COVID-19 relief package, asking them to take into consideration our veteran population. We've got anytime that we do a legislative hearing. Let's see where that's at. So here's a legislative hearing we did for the VA secretary. You can come in. These are all written by our staff now. These are not written by Military Times, by Stars and Stripes. This review was done by our legislative intern, Rob. Rob sat down, he watched the entire 3-hour hearing, and now you can come read it in less than 500 words and see exactly what happened during this hearing. And if you still want more, you want to know more about it, click on the link at the bottom. It's going to take you right over to the hearing itself, and you can watch it right there on C-SPAN. So if you have 3 hours, you want to watch it too, it's there for you. So if you come over and you don't know exactly what you're looking for, everything's going to have a category link to it. So if you want to know what we're doing with military families, you can click that. If you want to know what we're doing with the Secretary of Defense, we've done a couple things with the Secretary of Defense. Really good article we covered on civilian control of the armed forces. But that's where you can come get your advocacy talking points for all of your elected officials going forward. That'll be updated as things happen. We try to get articles up within 48 hours of a hearing happening, and we try to get letters of support out the door within 24 hours of them dropping or us finding out about them. And then, as always, come and check out the news of the association. You can come here. You can learn about what's going on. Joe was talking about the challenge coin. We got that here now. Eventually, that's going to be part of a pop-up series or a banner somewhere that's going to pop up, and you'll see it, and it'll bring you right here. You click on read more. That's actually going to tell you how to go order that that challenge coin. All of our old news is here, except for any of our legislative news. We unfortunately lost a lot of that in the transition, but that's okay. That stuff's all old. We have it archived somewhere else, but we don't have the capability of sharing it to our page. But let's say you want to come learn more about the national president. The national president has his commander's calls, but you know what? We also have our old buddy Vince Patton here, and we were able to all of his videos that he made for the association during his time. Come check them out. I literally watched all of them in the process of this. And then the last main feature to show you is if you ever miss one of our virtual speaker series moving forward, they'll all be right here. You can come check them out. Again, they'll be categorized based on who we met with and whatever else. You can watch them here on the page. You can click read more. Every time we do these, there's a script that we go along with them. You can actually see what Paul was, had on the docket to talk to the individuals about. You can see who the guests are. And then again, you can just watch that there. So that's the new web page. And then the next main feature that I'm going to show you is, we've changed the newsletter. So a lot of people were telling me like, hey, the newsletter, don't like it. What can we do? Well, it's a little bit fancier now. I worked with Voter Voice over the last week and a half, and we now have a new newsletter. We have I like our logo, declassified, NCOA advocate, declassified. So everything we're putting out to you is, right off the presses here. You're going to see our corporate sponsors are in here as well. Click on a corporate sponsor. It's going to take you over to their page. And I guess that didn't work because we're live, but I'll also make sure that's fixed before we get that out. But you'll be able to click it. Right now, this is the main difference. Right now, if you click on Chairman Haynes's article, it's going to take you right over here to a PDF. But actually, as we once we get going with the new format, so today, whenever this comes to you, you're actually going to be able to click that. It's going to take you to our news section on our page, so you can read his article here. But then you can, if you see something that really strikes your fancy, you can come find something else to read. Or if you're not a member, you share this with a non-member, they're going to be able to see how to join. They're going to see all this other stuff. So you go from no branding at all of our organization to actually having branding. You can also have a dialogue here. If you don't like what the chairman had to say, you can come in and you can write a comment on that. You can, if you like what he had to say, you can write a comment on that. And we can start having dialogues about some of these things. You can start to have more of a voice as you do this. These posts are right here. Now, if you start cussing at us or if you start, pushing, things, the computer itself is not going to let you post. So keep it clean. This is a site that, we do have children come to, but, so anyway, that's new. And then also with the newsletter, it's just, this is information one, it's by us. So first Friday of every month will always be from the leadership. The chairman, the grand knight, the auxiliary president, the executive director, anyone on staff. And then we'll always highlight things from TRICARE. We'll always highlight things from our council that we sit on with Hafees. But yeah, for the most part, everybody, this is the new look of how we're going to start communicating with you. And it's only going to get better. Like this is just the start. And so really excited about that. And so Paul, sorry, I went a little long-winded on you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump out of the full screen here and we'll turn it over and see if you guys have anything, and then we hit these 4 questions.
Absolutely. No, I think that's great. As you heard me talk earlier, and one of the things I was key on is, hey, we got our lines of effort, advocacy, membership, and that kind of fellowship piece, and then the professional development, education kind of piece. But all that has to be enabled, and the first thing we need to do was improve in our digital space. So this is a step in that direction. Told you we were going to go there. We've moved, and we want to make this more user-friendly and be able to connect all these tools together in a way that gets the information out there. So I think that's a great start. And I appreciate all the work you've done. And I love the intern program, right? Again, while we kind of build our own, financial infrastructure and things like that, use of the interns, it's such a win-win, right? So we get to leverage, they get to learn about us. We get to leverage their knowledge, skills, and abilities. I met most of them this morning on our call with Master Chief of the Coast Guard. Great group. And I look forward to just the impressive things they're going to do for us and helping us. So, all right. Thanks, Mike, again for that update. I think that's kind of really it for this one. There are some questions out there, I think.
There weren't really any questions. It was just
a lot of comments.
Praise. So,
yeah.
I don't know who this user is, but they really appreciate the hard work of this team. Tina, Rox, Joe, and myself. They're the 3 of them are over in San Antonio. They've been holding down this fort for a long time. So I know that everyone's so appreciative of all the work they're doing, and I appreciate all the comments I've been getting to myself.
Yeah, it takes a team effort here. So we got a lot of people on the team in the front office and throughout the organization helping. So hey, Mike, one more thing I wanted to ask about, and I'm slipping now in that. So it'll come back to me, and then I wanted you to touch on something we're working on. But hey, Joe, you got anything else you want to offer? Any other things come to mind? Any last minute foot stompers? One question I had is, I know we're moving towards an in-person annual symposium, but is there a chance that would get canceled, and when would we know about that because of potential COVID impacts?
The plan B for that, because the plan is not a plan without a plan B, is that we will do a virtual event. Looking at in the next couple of months, I would say no later than May, we should be able to determine, based on all what's going on, whether or not we're going to do a full-up face-to-face and/or portions of it virtual and a face-to-face as well. So, but we're definitely keeping our fingers crossed and prayers that we can do it face-to-face. Another thing I like to mention is we've talked about why it's important to be a member and why it's important to have chapters and belong to chapters. But there may be some of you out there that want to know, okay, well, who can join? We said that we covered down on all the 6 branches of the service, but I get the question a lot of times of who can join. Like in the case of the interns that Mike mentioned, they're mostly all civilians, so how can they be members? Well, we have different categories of membership, and I'll go through them real quick for the sake of time. But the regular division is individuals that serve in armed forces, primarily E1 through E9, as long as they are active duty or separated under honorable conditions. And we have the Veterans Division, which is individuals who served in any branch of the United States Armed Forces, whether active duty reserves or National Guard, retired or separated. Again, held enlisted positions and under honorable conditions. The Associate Division is the one where we open it up for quite a few, and that is any individual who actively supports the aims and goals of the Non-Commissioned Officers Association, but is not eligible in the other categories. And then we have one another important division that sometimes we kind of overlook, and that is the International Auxiliary Division. And that is where any spouse, former spouse, widow or widower, and a family member 18 years or older of military members, whether they're active, separated, reserve, or National Guard. So we've got all those divisions, and again, sometimes we don't intentionally, but we forget about, in some cases, the International Auxiliary. So that means that we actually can capture our family members as well. So I highly encourage those of you that are out there recruiting to please keep in mind that International Auxiliary Division as well as the others.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Hey, I remembered it now, Mike. So you're going to do can you talk a little bit about the legislative update video you're going to do? I think you said you're going to do those monthly. Is that it?
Yeah. So absolutely, Paul. Thanks a lot. So we will. I will either once a month. We won't put out a legislative newsletter. We'll actually go live. I'm going to do that this evening. Actually, I think I'm going to do those in evenings to hopefully get more attraction from our members. Also, individuals that are not at work. So the first Friday of every month will kind of be our live sessions. We'll go live. For this with the Master Chief. We'll bring on different members of the board. We'll rotate Joe around. We don't want Joe up here like every month. He'd probably get tired of that. But we'll bring the Grand Night on. We'll bring the International Auxiliary President. And so this will be first Fridays of the month will always be our information time. Throughout the rest of the month, that'll be where we're going to be building out our speaker series. So Paul's working with bringing different leaders in from the military. I'm going to be working on bringing in, currently talking with a couple members of Congress to come on with me throughout the month. So we're going to try to have a couple speaker series throughout the month as well. But then on the first Friday of every month, whenever this newsletter comes out, because I don't want to inundate everybody with newsletters, you're going to get 4 of those a month. And then maybe once a month, you'll get some about our corporate sponsors. So we show them love so they can keep, helping us push our mission. But, I want to interact with you. So tonight, I'll put a message out whenever I have the time down, and we'll go live, and it'll be Q&A session. We'll talk legislation. We're going to talk about renaming the bases. We're going to talk about Gold Star spouse issues we're dealing with. We're going to talk about housing issues tonight. And then we're also going to talk about some of the other legislation that we've been looking at. So looking forward to that. And that'll be our legislative minute.
Awesome. All right. Look forward to watching that. All right. Hey, just a point to touch on that, use of this video space. Again, I'm looking for all kinds of ways to do it. So I had a suggestion from one of our board members, Gerald Morey, the potential to partner with some people or an organization to do a financial, readiness kind of video series, right? But that would be probably, a member only thing. So if you want to get that information, that unique access that we can provide to that information, you got to join and be a member. Or perhaps we have special invitation events, right, where only members can be invited, or certain, maybe we just open up to the first 100 who are interested. Maybe it's a conversation with a senior leader or a congressperson or something. We're going to explore that too. So again, if there's things out there that you want, that you think would be a cool and better member benefit that could help us generate the what's in it for me, send us those ideas, and we're always interested in them. But we're going to use this space and the others to build our membership. So I think that's it for this month. Thanks again for taking time to join me. Stay informed. Check out that new website. As always, to the members we've got out there, thanks for your membership. Remember, each one of you is an ambassador and an advocate for the Non-Commissioned Officers Association. So go out there, spread the word, help start local chapters, continue the great work you're doing out there in the individual chapters, and then socialize those good ideas up to us so we can spread them throughout NCOA at large. And until next time, remember, there is strength through unity. I'll see you next month.